everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez, and I am joined today by artist, producer, host, author, production manager, and associate editor of Famous Monsters and American Gothic Press, Jorge Marrero. Yay! You're like, hey, hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, for those of our viewers new to the horror world, tell us what Famous Monsters is.
Well, it's a fanzine that's existed since 1958. We've been celebrating everything from horror, sci-fi, and fantasy, all coming from the editor-in-chief back then, Forrest J. Ackerman. This was a guy like, what Stan Lee was to Marvel is what this guy was for the horror fans growing up. Like, he was the face. He gave people a home to come to where, like, you can celebrate your freakness and your horror love. You know,
I love
like,
that.
Yeah.
Freakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even had a place called the Acker Mansion, which was his home. It was filled like on like a museum kind of place where you had all these props and everything. And till today, we've kind of still celebrated that. We don't have an Acker Mansion anymore, but you know, within each of our homes and our company, we still have all of those kind of like assets and everything. And it's at a place now. It's kind of like when you think of hip hop to rap. You know, rap is the style, but hip hop is the lifestyle, and that's what Famous Monsters is. It's that lifestyle of just every day is Halloween, and you kind of just live your love for horror and that whole genre, whether it's through film, television, comic books, video games, what you wear. You know, that's kind of what we've become nowadays.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of have to mention the fact that we both happen to wear leather. Hello.
Everything's better in leather. You know?
Exactly.
I didn't just make it up. Maybe I did. I don't know.
You are dropping some really, really nice lines here. So keep that going. That's awesome. Now tell us, what does your role entail exactly?
So this is a 5-part miniseries, right?
Yeah, we'll be here for like 6 hours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
With the intro you gave, obviously I do quite a bit at Famous Monsters. Being the production manager, I generally just oversee a lot of what we're doing and making sure the day-to-day goes by pretty much on point. But the best part, which is the creative part, you know, we're making designs for shirts. We're coming up with new things for our magazine. A lot of times if we're going to do some kind of stuff like this, like we're doing our TV show, I'll help produce that and come up with our content and ideas for that, go on location for things. Hosting the podcast, we curate a whole line of what we're going to discuss, talk about, and just, that's honestly the best part, is doing a podcast like this. You're just goofing off with your friends who you happen to work with and just talking about the stuff that you love and just talking smack about film and everything. But the other side of it, which is the comic books, which is still a very young thing, even though we've had it about 4 or 5 years now, I take on more of an art director role, where I actually get to use all of my years of being an artist and just discuss with our artists that work on the comic books and kind of guide them on the visuals of what we expect to have and everything. And it's kind of cool because as an artist, I kind of talk to them in that form. So like if you see our threads with like me and Piotr Kowalski, who does our art for Monster World, it's kind of like looking at hieroglyph, where like I'm just like, this is what I want, and I have an image, and he's like, oh, you mean like this, and he shows me an image, and it's like there's just no words, it's just pictures back and forth, and it's a really cool thing. It's my job, but at the same time it's like I'm gonna just to have fun every day. It's like a hobby that turned into a paycheck.
Yeah, well. And I feel, you know, like working in a creative field, it must be nice to be able to work with other creatives as well. You guys have been working with Sideshow for quite a while now. How did that relationship first start off?
It's something that's definitely been around since probably well before I was at the company. And like I started in 2015, but there's always been this kind of camaraderie between the two companies from the beginning. Like, you know, Sideshow, we know, had its start working with Universal Monsters, very much as Famous Monsters had its start celebrating those same monsters. So I think there was kind of that kinship and brothership already there, and we kind of had that. Once I came in, probably like in 2015 and through the years, I'm a collector. I have loads of comic books, I have Sideshow statues, you know, and it's just like, wait, they're doing stuff that we're doing in a different format, but it's still the same thing. And it's like, we should be doing more stuff together. Like, this is gonna be something like really big. And so I remember when we had the FM TV show, I met with Anna, and we started interviewing them. We interviewed Tom, and we learned more about the court and everything. And we put it in our magazine. We put it in the show. And it's just like, there's a next step to this. You know, it's like, okay, we like them, they like us. We need to have something that's together now. Like, I've never seen Court of the Dead on Famous Monsters magazine before. What would that look like? And so it's like, okay, let's do something. Let's make a collaboration where we can show off how you're just as much like us. Like, you're a classic monster too.
Yeah.
But now.
Yeah, like it's a great way for all of us to bond. So you are here to show off a little something. Can you tell us about what you're wearing?
Well, this is actually what we're leading to, like the collaboration that we had started together. This is actually a design that me and our art director had created. So this is an original piece that we put together for Court of the Dead. And I believe you actually have the other here.
Yes.
Right, which is familiar to people from old Sideshow designs.
Ta-da! I have to say it's also very comfortable and gorgeous. Look at it.
Look at
That's
it.
That's it, guys. Like, come on. So you do have some other samples, other T-shirts that we would like to show off.
Yeah, there is quite an army in the court. Hence why there's so many factions. We see we got our nice Demethyl over here, right? That is right. Right? Just saying names, it could be anybody.
Demethyl.
But I'm glad you mentioned how soft it is, because that's very important to us. Like, we test a lot of our apparel first, and it's like, if we don't want to wear it, no one else is going to want to wear this either. And like, how it feels is just as important of how it looks.
Well, and I feel like when you put them on, it gives you that feeling of like being powerful. Does that make sense? You know, like you just feel like, man.
That's totally
I'm not
makes
alone
sense.
in this,
Yeah.
guys. It makes sense.
I mean, I think that's what I like about
I love that one.
Court of the Dead, is that you got all these characters that some are gruesome, some are pretty, you know, but none of them feel weak. All of them seem so powerful, and like, you don't want to mess with any of them. Like, you want to cross the street when you see one of them walk by.
Yes,
you know?
yeah. And I love that it's like a creepy retro kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Did you immediately like know which characters you wanted to work with, or was that like, well, let's see?
There's so many.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a clown car. But I think at first, like, the obvious things is like, we're famous monsters. So you think of, well, obviously the monsters are going to be the ones you're going to want to go with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, seeing the ladies of the court, it's like, there's something about them. It's like, it's kind of like the bride. You know, she's beautiful, but she's a monster. It's like, there's that other angle of what goes bump in the night. It's not always the thing that has the horns and the tusks. You know, sometimes it's that beautiful siren that's calling you over, and it's going to eat you, you know?
I mean, that sounds terrifying, yet beautiful.
Yeah. So, and it just made sense to, I think, start with them. And as you mentioned, like with some of these colors and everything, if you see Famous Monsters magazines, they're always like these kind of like garish, very in-your-face colors that you wouldn't expect. And we really wanted to see like how that would feel with the Court of the Dead, because there's definitely its own tone. It's always dark. And it's like, how would this be in this? We're almost like, we kind of joke around the office, like a monster Lisa Frank.
I love that.
You know?
I love that.
And
Yeah.
it's like, that's like the approach we wanted to come to with this, and just give that other side of the court.
Yeah. How many characters, I want to know, got that Famous Monsters treatment? And do you have a favorite?
About 8 or 9 now.
All right.
Probably. It's, as you saw, like the shirts, it's easy to lose count. It's, you know, and we didn't even touch upon all of the characters that Court has. Like, there's still so more to come.
Yeah.
But you said which one is my favorite.
Yeah, do you have a favorite?
I do have a favorite, and it kind of mentioned like of the power, and like, I love a powerful woman. So you don't get any more powerful than Gethsemane, I feel. Like, she's top dog.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to power. And it's like, that's the person you got to be with. That's,
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
there's a reason why I did all takers with her.
Now, where can viewers find these shirts?
You can find all of our shirts at CaptainCompany.com.
All right. So, I have an extremely important question to ask you.
Okay.
Are you ready? What is your faction?
Oh, Flesh.
Me too.
Yeah, Flesh.
Yeah,
All day,
man.
buddy.
Yeah, I felt really, I mean, when I take quizzes like that to find out what well, I've never actually taken a quiz like this one before to find out my faction, but I always like really try try to answer as truthfully as possible, but I was a little bit like, well, I want to get like the cool faction. But I feel like they're all cool.
Yeah.
So,
there's no losing.
Yeah. Huh?
It's all a win.
Yeah, it's all a win. How would you say that your faction's like, yeah, like that's totally me?
I think it's like the beyond the power is that sense of creating.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you being an artist, it's like I like to create things, I like to mold things. You know, and they're kind of like puppeteers too over in the Flesh faction. You know, and it's like it sounds like a devious person to be, but I like having that sense of control. You know.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I feel like there's so much that you learn about yourself when you take the quiz, when you get the shirts, and you really get to represent, you know, like your style and everything. So guys, make sure to head over to famousmonsters.com to pick up your very own Court of the Dead shirt. Shout out your faction in the comments below. Does your favorite Famous Monsters shirt match your faction? Thank you again to George for chatting with us, and thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and enable your notifications and ensure you never miss a video. And don't forget to let your geek side show. Yay.
Hey, did you like that video? Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under Product Info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.